This video provides an overview of the Service Catalog features provided by the Service Portal Service Catalog v2 plugin in Kingston and explains how to configure many options. Linked timecodes for these topics appear in the YouTube description for this video. Here's the Service Catalog landing page on the Service Portal. We're logged in as System Administrator. The admin role is required to perform the configurations shown in this video. By default, the My Requests widget displays request, or REQ, records only. But we can change that to include incident or INC records as well by adding a filter. We'll configure it to display active incidents where the caller is me or opened by is me. And now both REQ and INC records appear here. About 10 records are displayed, followed by this link, which takes us to the My Requests page. If you're an approver with the required approver user role and you have pending approvals, the My Approvals widget appears. Otherwise, it's hidden. Approvers can review options and approve items right here. There, we're done, and the My Approvals widget is hidden. My Saved Bundles displays bundles, combinations of items often ordered together, that you've saved from the cart. Here we can remove a bundle or open it to change it. We'll show you how to save bundles later. My Recent Items displays items you've recently viewed, and Popular Items shows the current most frequently ordered Service Catalog items. By default, up to 8 items are displayed in this widget in a matrix of 2 rows, 4 across. But we can change that number by accessing the Widget Instance options by control-clicking the widget on a Mac or control-right-clicking on a PC. It's a good idea to use multiples of 4 to maximize the number of items in the last row. Here we could change the behavior of the My Recent Items list to display requested items instead of viewed items. But we'll leave this as is. Now this widget displays up to 12 items. Wish List appears here only if it's enabled. By default, it's not displayed. But you can enable it at the catalog level by selecting this checkbox. By default, when we click Browse by Categories, the popular items are displayed on this All Categories page. The default view is Card View, but users can change this anytime, and the system stores the most recent selection as a user preference. For any category that has subcategories, the Categories widget displays a plus icon, which users click to list subcategories. By default, the system displays the first 9 items in a category. If the category contains more items than are currently displayed, the system reports how many items are in the category. Clicking Show More displays the next group of up to 9 items. We can configure the number of items per page by control-clicking the page title and changing the number of items per page value here in the Instance options for Catalog category. Because the items are displayed 3 across, it's best to use multiples of 3 here. When this checkbox is selected, the system displays items from subcategories along with items from the main category. When cleared, it displays only items from the main category, and users must click each subcategory to view the items within it. Now let's look at configuration options for the Categories widget. This menu is different from the one we just looked at, which controls configuration of the SC category page. By default, the maximum number of categories that appear on the Categories widget is 15. Child categories aren't included in this count. If you have a lot of categories, you can increase this number. If this value is smaller than the number of categories in your service catalog, for example, here we've set it to 6, the system reports the number of categories shown and the total, and you can click Show All to display the remaining categories. After showing all, if you leave the Categories page and return to it later, the configured number of categories will be displayed again. If only a subset of your Service Catalog categories are displayed, you can specify which ones show up by setting their order in the Maintain Categories module. We've personalized this list to include the Order field. If 2 or more categories have the same order value, or if order values aren't set, as is the case here, the system displays them alphabetically. We're using the nested layout, which displays the category hierarchy. In the flat layout, the hierarchy isn't evident. All categories appear at the same level. For example, here are some of the hardware subcategories. If the layout is flat, when you click a main category, such as hardware, the system still displays all the items from the subcategories, unless you clear the Show Items from Child Categories checkbox we discussed earlier. Users don't even have to know there's a hierarchy as long as they can find what they need. Badges display counts of items in each category. By default, this option is selected because determining the counts in a large catalog affects system performance. If you want badges to show up, clear this checkbox. Here's the packaging and shipping catalog item. Catalog items and record producers use the same widget, so what we show here applies to both. If there's an image for the item, it appears here on the left, just below the short description. And the Order Item widget is on the right. As we scroll down the form, the Order Item widget stays in place. It's a sticky widget. Also, the short description is sticky. It stays at the top to provide context as the user completes the form. On a catalog item or record producer page, control-clicking outside the fields provides access to the SC catalog item instance options. Choices made here apply to all items in the service catalog. These are the default settings for the widget. Show Add Cart button refers to this button. When that checkbox is cleared, the button isn't displayed on the Order Item widget, so users can't collect multiple items in the cart for ordering. Instead, they must order each item separately by clicking Order Now. This option controls the wish list buttons, which appear in the Order Item widget by default if the wish list is enabled. Here's the Add to Wish List button. When a wish list item is open, the Update Wish List button replaces the Add to Wish List button on the Order Item widget, so that users can make changes in the order form and update it in the wish list. The breadcrumbs tell us that currently we're looking at the standard laptop in our wish list, with options we already selected, not the corresponding item in the service catalog. Clearing this checkbox turns off these buttons so they aren't displayed in the Order Item widget, but the wish list still appears in the banner. So if you want to make sure the wish list isn't displayed anywhere, it's best to turn it off here at the catalog level. By default, the Order Item widget is displayed on top and it sticks there instead of scrolling with the page. When this checkbox is cleared, the Order Item widget appears at the bottom of the page and scrolls with the page. This is useful if you're embedding the widgets in other pages where there may not be enough space for the Order Item widget at the top right. This option, Enable Show More, Less for Item Description, applies to mobile displays only. When enabled, long item descriptions are partly displayed, along with a Show More link, which we can click to show the rest of the description. When this checkbox is cleared, the whole description is displayed, regardless of its length. The Order Confirmation window allows users to order items on behalf of someone else. By default, the logged-in user's name appears here. To order for someone else, we just select another name and provide delivery information. Currently, only the username appears in the choice list. But we can configure the system to display additional information from the user record, which might be helpful. The property we want is in the cart category. Here's where we enter the fields from the sysuser table that we want included. We'll just add the email address. But we could add multiple fields. Now let's refresh this page and start the order again. Items are now sorted by the first field entered in that property, email. If the user record has an associated address, it's automatically filled in here. And you can add special instructions for the order if applicable. Here's the order status page. Note these fields. The instance options for this page allow us to change which fields are displayed. We can't add other fields here. By default, the request item isn't displayed. Let's change that. Now that field is visible to users, and clicking a requested item number takes us to the ticket form for that item. Now let's look at some cart features. We'll set up a couple of video conferences to follow up the 2 sessions of our new manager training series. We add this to our cart, but the catalog item with our specified options remains open. We can make changes to the form for the second session without completing all the fields again. And when we add this item to our cart, it creates a second record without affecting the first one. This allows us to easily order multiples of the same item with different options selected without having to navigate back through the service catalog. Now we have 2 video conferencing items in our cart. One for session 1 and one for session 2. As with the wish list, when viewing the item in the cart, we can make changes on the form and click Update Cart, which updates this item in the cart rather than adding a new item to the cart. Here's something else we can do while viewing the cart. We're ordering these items for a new employee. We ordered these same items for almost every new employee. Saving them as a bundle allows us to order them together over and over again. We don't need to include the headset in the bundle because most employees don't need that. Now here's our bundle, which we can open at any time to order for the next new employee. Bundles are also available from the Service Catalog landing page. They're specific to the logged-in user, so nobody else can see or access your bundles. An order guide submits a single Service Catalog request that generates several items. This one requests equipment and services for new employees. The only instance option available for order guides is to display the Show More and Show Less links for the description on mobile devices. This is enabled by default. The order guide is divided into 3 sections. Here we describe the needs. And now, all the items included in the order guide are listed in an accordion view, meaning we can expand them to see details and collapse them. Options indicates that we can interact with the form to make choices, and this means one or more of the options on the form are mandatory. If an item is unnecessary for this employee, we can choose to exclude it from the order. When we exclude an item with mandatory options, the mandatory fields are no longer enforced. If we don't want users to be able to exclude items from a particular order guide, we just open the order guide record and clear this checkbox. And the order guide won't display the include toggle. All items must be included in the request. Here on the summary page, we see that the new email account is not included. If we wanted to go back and include it, we would click Edit Options. We could add it to the cart, but we'll order it now. If we were ordering on behalf of someone else, we would indicate that here, but we'll just check out. Only the included items were ordered. The Service Catalog is mobile ready through mobile web, so users can access the Service Catalog on Service Portal through a web browser on a tablet or smartphone without a dedicated mobile app. After scrolling down, if we begin scrolling up again, an arrow appears and clicking it takes us back to the top of the page. Only the relevant information is displayed on mobile devices, so some details may not be included. For more information, please consult our product documentation, knowledge base, or podcast, or ask a question in the ServiceNow community.